So welcome everybody. We are now live, believe it or not. Welcome to this general session for the John Lavenia Success Mastermind, 9th of February, if my calendar is correct. And we have a lot of JLSM family here and me, Adrian Garner. And John has just joined us, our great leader. So we have, I can see already, we've got Suzanne, we've got Bill, we got Cyril, we got Richard, Mark I've been speaking to, Sandy and Khalid. We've already had lots of pre-video chats, which shall remain confidential, but they weren't too outrageous today. So thank you, everybody, for joining. On the housekeeping front, we always try and just remind everybody what's going on later. 5 p.m. Eastern time today, which is 10 p.m. UK. It's Ivie, the great Ivie, with her corporate curio stories, which illustrate points about corporate life, management, handling personnel, and all sorts of other moral issues, which has raised some interesting concerns so far. 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is 2 a.m., believe it or not, UK time. And yes, Ivie will definitely be there. It's Wayne back with metaphors for success during the week. So remember, that's a new thing. He's moved it to Tuesday night. So you get a chance to see Wayne in action. He's a great filmmaker and storyteller as well. And we'll be raising metaphors to illustrate life. So really, I already feel, despite the talk of snow earlier on, that we're on fire here in this group this morning. So I think bring on the fire hoses, bring on the fire engines, because I know that once you guys all start speaking, things are going to take off. So I'm really looking forward to opening the floor in a minute. And as John has been saying yesterday, anyone that's out there watching on YouTube and is awash in a sea of books and courses and perhaps feels a bit lost, just join this wonderful group, because this is where the learning really comes home to roost and things actually then happen. So takes all that learning and all that sea of books and does something with them. So this is a place of action and a place of support. And I'm sure everyone on the call would back me up on that. Support and action for success. So there you go. If you're watching us on YouTube, come and join us. Anyway, my thoughts today. We keep talking about who is showing up, and we keep talking about how to change who is showing up. And John mentioned it again yesterday in his talk. For me, there's only one way, and that definitely is discovering and fostering a burning desire, which you will have seen again in this sea of books I've referred to. But the burning desire comes up time and again. Some call it being purpose-oriented. John often refers to us being on purpose. That's another phrase that illustrates the point. You can turn up as you and try and generate some sort of fake mindset, show up as someone different, but it just doesn't work in my experience. You'll find yourself really find out what's what when you try and show up with full energy and commitment, and you just can't, because you've not really latched onto that burning desire. You've just tried to fabricate it to appear to get by. You're going to struggle. The burning desire is critical. We, in my view, have to have that burning desire, and we have to reprogram ourselves alongside that burning desire and right behind it in order to generate and show up with that passion and desire that you've just got to have. That's what it really takes. So let's all be extraordinary. That's what I would say. This is not an ordinary life. Let's make it an extraordinary life. Every day can be extraordinary if we want to make it to. If we want to make it extraordinary, it can be. And Napoleon Hill, again, we mentioned many times, but in his seminal work, Think and Grow Rich, he tells us that he believes that desire is the starting point of all achievement. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. And in that great book, he focuses very often on the need for that burning desire above all else. And he gives us a lot of examples. And one that's come up before, which I wanted to mention again, because I think it's such a great illustration of this, is Edwin Barnes, who is the guy that decided that he had to become Thomas Edison's business associate. So what did he do? Well, it appeared very unlikely if you looked at his apparently unkempt appearance, his lack of apparent experience, but that didn't put him off. Because over time, he built this wish and thoughts into a burning desire that he was going to be the business associate of Thomas Edison. I mean, imagine that desire was so strong that he jumped on a freight train in order to visit Edison and get a meeting with him. He really envisaged strongly meeting Edison and what he was going to say and what he was going to do about requesting the opportunity to carry out the object of his burning desire and become Edison's business partner. And of course, he then did meet him, and Edison was impressed by something in him and impressed enough to give him an opportunity. But he really had to work after that. He didn't just get put in straight as a business associate of Edison. No way. He worked up from the bottom, the hard way, but he did, after a few years, become Edison's business partner. He chose a definite goal and he put all his energy and his efforts behind that goal. And again, that's what it takes. He really desired that goal. It was very deeply within him and everywhere in his thoughts by the time he actually went down on that train to fulfill it. It was an overriding purpose, more important than anything else to him, to pull that off. But, I looked at that story again, and I think we're in danger of just taking it for granted. Say, okay, yeah, great, but hang on. Someone from the middle of nowhere, dressed shabbily, with no apparent experience, jumps on a freight train, which, by the way, also suggests he didn't have the money for a rail fare, goes on spec with no prospect of any meeting, but he's convinced he's going to have one, to a big city to meet them at that point, the world's most famous business person. He'd probably never even been to a business meeting in his life, but he requested one and he asked for the opportunity. And then he spends 5 years working in mundane posts with no sign of anything coming to fruition. And he could have given up at that point and said, hey, this is the wrong burning desire. It's not going to happen. But he didn't do that. He kept believing. He kept repeating it. He kept believing. And then an opportunity came along for a new business venture with Edison, and he grabbed it. He grabbed it straight away. So let's just think of the magnitude of all that. What he did. Would you, all of you, be prepared to do that? Is that how much your burning desire matters to you? Just think about it for a minute. What is my burning desire? What do I believe it is? Would I be prepared with nothing to jump on a freight train, go on spec and speak to someone the equivalent of today's Steve Jobs to get an opportunity to be hired, to get to be a business partner? It's pretty staggering, really, when you think about it. And that is commitment behind a goal, real commitment. And if we can't answer that question and say we would be prepared to do all that, we've got to start asking ourselves, well, why not? Is our goal therefore really a burning desire? Or do we need to work some more on it, explore it further, or find another one? Maybe we're not aligned with what we're doing. So it's always worth standing back, looking at these incredible stories of these incredible people, including Steve Jobs, by the way. How did they do it? Why did they do it? And were they aligned with what they believed in? They sure were. And that's what we have to be too. So putting it another way, is what we're trying to do right now actually working? Is it going well? Is it time to review it, bolt down a bit more our burning desire and kindle that fire? And if not, have you got sufficient drive or desire to push it through in your heart of hearts? Do you think there's a problem? Do you think there's just a lack of effort when the chips are down, you've got to work extra and push it? So what strikes you? And as we leave what I'll call the safe harbor of the festive season behind us on these perilous seas of entrepreneurship, how much of us honestly feel that burning desire, the passionate drive within us? Are we still feeling that after the festive season? Are we fired up? Are we driven? Are we ready? If not, it's not too late. It's never too late. But, we can make the mistake of just listening to as many talks as we like, reading as many books as we like, admiring as many heroes and reading about them and mentors as we like. But that is just fuel. It's just fuel for the fire. It's actually down to each one of us to put the fuel on the fire and actually light it. In other words, this is down to taking action, not just speaking words. That's what counts. So you've got to ask yourself, and we all do, are we acting? Are we actually taking action? Are we clear on that burning desire? Have we actually tested it? Is it real? Are we connected with it? Are we invested into it fully? You've really got to live these things, breathe them and eat them. Nothing gets in the way. If you're setting up a new business, as I've done in the past, you're totally with it all day. You sleep on it. You get up and think about it. The first thing you do, this is what it takes. And in his adventure talk, Stuart talked to us about the difficulties of lighting damp firewood. It's hard. Try to get yourselves really moving towards the target with damp firewood. It's just not easy. You've got to be really invested and on fire and ready. We have to create a massive bonfire inside ourselves. in order to break through the kind of obstacles you've all been witnessing to start even a small business. It's frustrating, it's not easy, but it's the single most important thing to work on. All of the other topics that we discuss, I think, are corollary to this burning desire. All the techniques we talk about, the mindset we talk about, it isn't going to work. It's not going to fix the issue if the burning desire is wrong, or you're not aligned with it, or you're not very clear on what it is. John talks about clarity and being very precise and clear on exactly what we want. I talked a while ago, a couple of months back, about the virtuous circle. And the great thing about the virtuous circle is that once you've found and generated that burning desire, it's all linked. It fuels and feeds off your mindset and goes back in circles and fuels further passion. So once we've identified it, it generates burning desire, which is then crucial and is linked to our mindset. So our mindset is directly a result of the burning desire. You can't split the two up. This burning desire fuels the mindset, which then generates success, which then feeds straight back in the loop into the burning desire, and we just get more passionate about it if it's the right one. And there's a natural process of evolution and stronger thinking, action, and results. You look at Steve Jobs again and what he did, dominated 5 separate industries and completely transformed them from a garage in his parents' house. That's what he did. You just keep climbing higher up the curve. Once you're in this virtuous circle, it pushes you higher up the curve every time with each cycle that you complete. Your passion gets stronger, your experience gets better, and you become much closer to and clearer on your goals. So we need that positive feedback from the world around us, and that comes from doing the right things towards our goals. It carries us forwards and it carries us further up the curve. We also talked about generating joy a few months back. This also generates the joy you need to feel great and to pursue your goals. In the virtuous circle, it just starts with that single step. The first step, the discovery and exploration of your burning desire. So burning desire is the anchor and the start point in this feedback loop that powers you up the curve. And again, your heart has to be in it. We've talked about that as well previously. And I said previously, we need to remember that our hearts have to be in it. If your heart's in it, I believe all of you can do anything. You can learn any skill, confront any situation if you really want to. But stay true to yourself, invest your heart in it, be authentic. We talk about being authentic. Make sure your goal, your burning desire is really you, and that you can be 100% authentic in pursuing it, because it makes a huge difference. And I know that with these tools and these feelings, you can all learn, you can all communicate, negotiate, support, give and receive anything. Nothing is not possible. Anything can be done. So really, I wanted to focus today on taking stock and saying, if any of us are not clear on that burning desire yet, and some of us I'm sure are not, then take time out for yourself. This is probably more important than anything else you're doing at the moment. If you haven't got that clear, I think at some point you're going to run into the sand, get stalled, go off down a sidetrack. It's time to reflect and test now. It's not too late in the year to get back on and say, what really drives me? What's the biggest motivation in my life? And which problem can I solve for people in the context of what I think my burning desire is? What am I prepared to do? What am I prepared to give up, as the books say again, to achieve that burning desire? And don't worry, if you can't get it and give it immediately, then how can I put myself in a position to give it and to live it as soon as I can? You can already see, and working backwards, the sort of milepost you're going to have to pass to get there. So let's start preparing, even if you can't do everything you want right now. Don't put it off. Conditions are never perfect. As we said yesterday with John, go for it and start planning it out now. And again, aligned with this is be who you want to be, which I also talked about last year. Be, for heaven's sake, who you want to be. And I focused in that talk on past experience and whether things were holding us back. Past experiences shouldn't be forgotten and ignored. They have molded us. They've given us bad things, but they've given us a lot of good things too. And they've given us shape to our thoughts and our skills. We can be who we really want to be. We don't need to be constrained by the past. Get the burning desire clear. Embrace the good and bad experiences you've had. but know how to put them in their place and how to use them. Decide right now who you want to be now, not who you were then. How you want to react to things now, not how you used to react. And decide how you don't want to react anymore. Who's not going to press your buttons? Who's not going to annoy you, get a rise out of you, put you off track, make you feel depressed? You can identify those problems and negate them. Decide the thoughts and the mindsets we want to pack for the next stage of this journey. And it's time, it's vital to make these packing decisions well. The mental baggage we're going to take with us is everything. But just make sure all that mental baggage we're taking and those skills that we're honing are properly connected to that burning desire. You've got to show up as you. You've got to show up on fire and with the right suitcase packed with the right ideas and the right mindset, full of thoughts and positivity. It's a can-do attitude, for example, not if or whether. It's can and when. That is a crucial difference in wording. We have to reprogram our brains behind all of this to believe it. Because I know you're all great people. Because I know that, because I've listened to you, I've watched you all, I've seen the progress, and I really want you all to show the world the real you and what you're going to do, because it's very, very exciting. Very exciting. You know, we can be masters of our own destiny. I talked, the day I gave that talk I just referred to, the barrister at the coffee shop simply said to me, "You are the master of your own destiny." And that stuck with me again. It's one of those phrases you hear, but it's absolutely true. You have to decide which destiny you're pursuing. What is that burning desire? That's your destiny. It's already written. It's already there. But until you're clear that you found that burning desire, you haven't unnecessarily uncovered your true fate. So what is the destination you're seeking to arrive at? Grab it, find it, seize it. One word as an aside about money as a goal. Clearly, having a monetary goal we talk about often, and it's very important to express that. It's part of the future visualization, the mind power techniques that we deploy and that we've been learning about. And I'd love to hear what you all think about money goals and what you're doing as regards your goals today. Write down any thoughts right now if they're occurring to you as we go along, so you don't forget them at the end, because I'm going to call on you very shortly. But personally for me, no amount of financial visualization will compensate for the lack of a burning desire more generally. It won't compensate for what Earl Nightingale referred to in The Secret as the pursuit of a worthy ideal. I've got to know what that worthy ideal is. Success just based on a monetary goal risks turning to ashes in my hands and leave me feeling empty. And you may have had experiences like that where you've done something, it was a success, but it just didn't mean anything to you. Love to hear from you if you've had that experience. So for me, money only approach is not going to cut it. And it's also unlikely to direct my moral compass the right way when I'm doing business with other people. If I'm invested in a worthy ideal, a burning desire, and it's the right one, I should be able to share with other people and get a win-win for me and the customer. How many people in business have you met who just want to take every cent off the table for themselves? And then nobody wants to do business with them ever again, because that's just a bad experience to have. There are a lot of them out there, folks, a lot. So what can we do? What can we do about these burning desires? Well, let's remind ourselves, in the hope this will help. There are so many things written about this. I haven't got time to talk about them all today, which John's probably quite relieved about. But I wanted to suggest that you consult first with the people you trust for ideas on how they see your possible burning desires. People see a lot about us in how we react to things in the day. And if they know us well, they can often perceive what motivates us and what gets a reaction from us, good or bad. They can tell you what not to do as well. There are many, many people in this group who are good at listening. So reach out, friends, family, people in this group. They can really help. And then you've got to connect to feelings. How does it feel? When you actually discuss experiences you've had, ideas you've got, and you're trying to uncover those gold nuggets in those stories and those feelings and memories, how does it feel? How does each thought or possible goal or activity really strike you? Are you tuned into the feelings that you're giving out or feeling when you talk about a topic? You've just got to become better at it. We all do, so that we can think, hang on, why do I feel so great about that story? Why do I feel so great about that job experience? those people I knew, what was it? The clues are all there. They're all buried in our past lives. Very often we need to look no further. And then there's looking forward, envisionment. If I was doing that, or if I achieved that, would it feel like a galactic lottery win? Why would it feel like that? Or would it just feel like, so what, another achievement, done that, let's move on to the next one? Well, if it's that, then you know you're not connected with a burning desire. Change your perspective, another good thing to do. We've talked about that. Who would I like to help? Who can I help? What could I do for people? What could I do for the world? Question yourself and imagine being sat in front of an interviewer asking you who you would like to help, why, and what you would like to help with. Maybe you'll get some answers. Nicola touched on this yesterday, and she told us that the question, who can I help, changed her whole outlook and approach. We can contemplate who we could help, how it makes us feel, and whether we could help in that area, and then see how we feel about that. If we could do it, if we could really do it, would that make us feel great? So many of these things that we do have no connection with inner desires. We've got to connect with the ones that do connect to our inner desires, and we'll know when we found them. Go back into your past again. It's littered with clues about what fires you up. Dreams, do you remember your dreams anymore? Connect back to them. Analyze what it was about them. Was there a base of a desire there somewhere? Were they the same kind of dreams you used to have in a group of similar topics? What would you most like to happen? What would you most like to create? How would it feel to feel that way or to have done it? How would it feel? So many questions we could ask along those lines. But look beneath the surface. Look at what you're feeling. Look at the activities. Look at your job. Look at good experiences you've had. It may not be the actual work or the activity that did it. It was what was underneath it. What were the ingredients of that activity that grabbed you, that you were connected with? Was it interacting with people? Was it solving problems? Was it negotiating, finding solutions, creating something? Sometimes those are the clues. It was that rather than the actual job itself that grabbed you. So a last thought on this, an alternative approach for some of us, more spiritual approach, is that purpose is a thought, some people say, and therefore you feel it as a thought. And I recommend a book called The Little Book of Results by Jamie Smart. He talks about purpose being a thought that we will feel, and he says, therefore, that you'll realize it or glimpse it rather than trying to work it out, because it's already there and it's already in you. He says that realization can come in various forms: a sudden flash of lightning, a slow awakening, a eureka moment, dashing down the street shouting eureka. It may be just a gentle, sudden feeling of knowing, more like a faith, something you suddenly really believe in and you know that you believe in. So he recommends that we look inside ourselves more than outside ourselves, because that's where he says you'll find true feelings of peace, security, and fulfillment, and know how they feel and why you're feeling them. Not so much just in hollow external accomplishments, he says, which won't necessarily tell you what it is you're really connected to. So once you find that purpose and direction, it unlocks all your other powers. And he makes that very clear in the book, and I agree with him. Courage, motivation, resolve, it all comes from that single connection, because it's all easy after that. So I really want to hear from you in a couple of minutes. It would just help everyone today if we could hear from as many people as possible. From those of you that have latched onto a burning desire, how did you find it? Was it a process? What did you do? How did you do it? What can you pass on to other people about the burning desire you found and how you found it? Equally important, anyone that's struggling today, why are you finding it hard to unearth it? Why are you finding it hard, if you know what it is, to act on it? What do you think the blockages are? What advice, again, can you pass on to others in the group? That would be interesting. From those who know what it is, but don't know where and how to start the journey, let's hear from you as well. What are the difficulties in getting started on the road? What's putting you off? What can you pass on to others about those feelings and what actions you're taking? But let's all just take action and not speak words. Let's get that burning desire clear and act on it, so that we can really enjoy the fruits of it and the fantastic feeling of achievement that it brings. I want to open the floor. Remember that you, everyone here, you are the engine of these sessions, not the speakers. We're just facilitators. I describe ourselves as catchers of your thoughts, but we need your thoughts. That is what it's all about. This is about real people, you making real discoveries and real progress, confronting real obstacles. It's all about you. So what you share with us is invaluable. It's invaluable to everybody in the group. And my byword for these talks really now is nobody left behind. We're all traveling together. We're all for one and one for all, as they've said many times in the past. And really appreciate you listening and would love to hear from you and your collective experience. So thanks for listening. And we have some hands up already. Suzanne, you have your hand up. We'd love to hear from you.
Hi, everybody. Great topic, Adrian. Really good. I think this was kind of, this has been a problem for me with the Amazon journey. I don't think I had the burning desire. And I've been on a course with Shannon and done a lot of thinking and digging down deep. And I felt it was a bit superficial, just putting more products out for people to buy. It was more about, having a job and earning money. But I now think I have found something. I will do it alongside. But it's definitely really important. It is definitely the burning desire. That's it.
Suzanne, that's great. And that's what I'm suspecting, talking to a lot of people, that some of us feel we spend a lot of money on the course, we've got to get value out of it, and we're pursuing blindly some of these Amazon strategies that just don't strike a chord with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a pretty short-term play. It's not going to carry us to greatness. So yes, I love the idea of carrying it on alongside, but I'm so pleased to hear that you found something else that you think you're better connected to, because I suspect you're not the only one. So I'm really pleased you shared that with us. I think it's important to review where we are sometimes and to reassess. I really do. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Bill has his hand up. Bill, lovely to hear from you.
Adrian, that was terrific. Thank you very much. Henceforth, I think you should be known as D'Artagnan, if that's okay. You've got a new nickname. Burning desire. I would go with what Suzanne has just said. Yes, I've spent an inordinate amount of money on all of this, but whilst it has not kindled much in that side of things, I would say it has educated me tremendously about a lot of other openings and ideas. And it is, just as you have said, they're about taking back control of ourselves. And if we didn't feel, and I certainly didn't feel that I was in control inwardly, then it's time that we built ourselves up, because we're all quite capable of taking control of ourselves. It's just having to, as you said, to retrain our brains to keep telling us that. I mean, I know we quote John quite a bit, and he comes off with that line, habits beat heroics, but he's right. It is about being habitual, about doing things on a regular basis and getting this into your mindset. And whilst I may be on a slow burn desire, it's getting there and the heat is building. And I've realized that there's an awful lot that I'm gaining, certainly mostly from this group. And the connections that I'm making, and knowing that I have a lot to offer, it's just through life experience, never mind anything else, Adrian, is just, it's so comforting for a start, but it also helps build you back up into knowing that you are quite capable of doing whatever you want to do. And I spoke to someone last night, and I used a line that I have began to use again. It is about owning your own land. This is my land. Either get off my land or work alongside me. And you've really got to have that mental strength to say that to people, the people that are holding you back. You don't have to be rude, but you can be forcefully diplomatic. I mean, you'll know as well as I do, Adrian, that the art of diplomacy is telling someone to go to hell and them thanking you for it. That's exactly, and I used that analogy recently, last night actually, about getting even a simple thing. And I know I use these stories back in the day of a uniformed officer, but it is a case of when you get somebody for a number of offences, and you have this guy who maybe is not necessarily on your side for obvious reasons, but you can paint this picture to him of, here's what you're guilty of so far that I've found, without having to look too hard. And you build up this whole trauma of, are you going to lose your license? Are you going to be able to pay your mortgage? Or what's your wife going to say? What's your partner going to say? And you can just see the color drain from their face. But then you're able to bring that conversation around to, I'll tell you what, friend, what if I give you a £60 ticket and we'll call it quits? And they're thanking you. They're still getting hammered, but they don't realize that. But they do realize that you have made them see the whole educated side of, my world could have imploded here, only you've decided to cut me a little slack. And sometimes, actually most times, because I always got into trouble with my superiors. When I came in, they used to say, so how many people have you booked today, Bill? And I would just go, 0. But I have spoke to a number and educated quite a few. And I thought that always was certainly one of the skills that I like to think I have, is that communication side of things, and more life experience is, it's not all about figures. It's not all about the money. Just as you were saying there, I'm really happy, certainly in this group and outside. I've helped quite a number of people over this last while for no monetary return. And the feeling that I get back is 10 times what if somebody was writing me a check. Frankly, I've really thought to myself, it isn't about the money. It's about doing what's right. And when you do what's right, then I've found that learning through this group, everything that all you guys are teaching me, this is when the returns come back unexpectedly to you. Once you start to narrow it down, and as John says, back to your habitual stuff, keep it going, write down your goals, make them simple, make them straight, make them direct, and don't, have it all so broad that you're meandering all over the place like a floodplain. Get that river down in a torrent, get it down the middle of that flipping valley, and let's go for it. And I will leave you with what I have used before is, if you imagine yourself sitting in a police car and you're the driver. I know this may be strange for a lot of you people that to visualize this, but you could be driving down the road at 60 miles an hour plus in a built up area on the wrong side of the road against the flow of traffic. Now, I used to say to the young guys that were sitting beside me, white as a ghost, look, fellas, I don't want to hit these guys as much as they don't want to hit me, but I'm here to get to somewhere, and they're going to go where I tell them, I'm not going to do what they want me to do. And it's got to be that direct. You've got to be that forceful in this whole journey to get where you want to go. And it's either get out of my way or, I'll give it to Mark. It would be, and well, I know English is the old saying, a gangway for a naval officer. Get out of the way. So thank you, Adrian. That was wonderful.
Bill, incredible as always. There's so many thoughts there for us to delve into. You really have to do a presentation one day, Bill. I would so love to hear you. You've got so much to say, and your thinking is spot on. I think everyone can see that. So many thoughts. That strong direction you just talked about, that determination, you had to get there. You were going to get there, whatever it takes. And that's why you've got to be aligned with that purpose. You had to get there. You were going to get there at all costs. That's how we have to feel about where we're going. So many other things you said as well, not just about the money and doing what's right. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with earning lots of money, but alongside that, you've probably got to have a slightly deeper meaning as well, so that it's all at the end of the day meaningful, and you think that you've given something back to the world. If none of us give back, the world can't actually turn. So we have to give back, to put those ripples out there to help somebody else that then comes back somewhere else unexpectedly. So I absolutely agree with that, Bill, and so many of the other things you said, and particularly wanted to focus on what you said about learning lots of things. You learned lots of things. The opportunity isn't going to necessarily come from where you thought it was when you first saw the training videos, but it's still coming, and we still know more than we did, and we're still using that knowledge and applying it every day. We're all much stronger than we were when we started this journey, but there's nothing wrong with not being hooked on, got to do Amazon, got to do it this way. There are many more ways. Many people have had to change. Evelyn was telling us yesterday how much she had to change her whole strategy because the products weren't working as she expected. She was plunged into losing her remuneration and had to change. It can come from anywhere. So, Bill, that was very incisive. And again, maybe I'll persuade you to co-host or do something, but we've got to hear you speaking, Bill. You've just got so much to say and we love listening to you. Love it. Thank you, Bill. Wonderful to see Nancy. Nancy has her hand up. Thank you for speaking, Nancy, today.
Yeah, wonderful topic, Adrian. Just spot on, as you guys would say. And great idea about Bill. I think that's, yeah, you're seeking out your next presenters here. That's fantastic. Here's what's coming to me right now. And, you know, there's that idea of a person looking around for their entire life for something they think is around them, that is out there. And yet it's already in front of you. You have it. And that's kind of been my experience. So what I'm speaking to is, I think my burning desire, the thing that I think about every day is health and healing. I have my whole life. You know, my dad died of colon cancer when I was a little girl. And it's just, I can feel it in my throat. It's just, my whole life has been about health and healing for myself and others. And so, you know, I don't need to, well, maybe there are additional purposes and goals, and certainly there are, but I think that is the central one. And I got it now. I got that message. And the thing is my intention is it was because of you all, because of this family, the support here, the inspiration, the people that reach out to me and I reach to them, and all of that, where I feel like, you know, I can already build what I have and make that the central piece. And then everything can radiate out of that if I want to do additional services or businesses. So I know I might have mentioned this before, and so I apologize if that's redundant, but I think it's just such a big, it's kind of a cosmic joke, right? Like, I'm not saying that I would never do Amazon, but I got into this thing thinking I'm going to be an Amazon seller, and it was just going against the grain for so many reasons for me. And then I had to step back. And once I stepped back and I started doing this coaching certification program, which I love, by the way, I realized that I think I can do this. I think I can build up what I already have. And so that's just been an absolute gift. I hope I'm answering your question, Adrian, maybe in a roundabout way, but I hope that supports other people, that we don't have to be married to this particular vehicle, and that we might already have the vehicle. We're just not even seeing it.
Nancy, absolutely. As you said, spot on. Really, I mean, that's what often happens. It's right in front of our noses. It's in us. We've bumped into it several times in our lives and felt great about it, but we just don't act on it, or we don't quite realize how important it is to us. That's why I want us all to stand back and test ourselves and say, hey, what am I doing? Is it right for me? Can I just make that adjustment? I mean, you're now able, with the knowledge you've got of e-commerce, websites, the things you didn't know anything about maybe before, to act on this burning desire of health and healing and use it to benefit that project. So I think Therese would probably say the same thing. I saw her on the screen just there. I think she'd probably say something very similar. We're going to hear from her as well. But you know, you're both health and healing gurus, really totally dedicated to other people's health and making them better. And that is such a powerful offering. And what a great burning desire, which also can make you a lot of money. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's all fully aligned. Make some money as well and do great good in the meantime. I really like that. All the knowledge has been useful. It hasn't been wasted. Nobody should feel bad about the months of studying we've all put in. It's all going to help us, and it's helping us right now. You know, on looking for your purpose, I always think of the stories about people gathering around a lamppost. Lampposts shine a particular pool of light. You can risk just staying in that little pool of light around the lamppost, not moving into the fringes of the light where you can find different things. That's what often people do. They stay safe in a safe zone or a comfort zone. They don't look outside that little pool of light under that lamppost. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Just really test your feelings. Nancy, that was great contribution. Thank you for sharing today. Thanks for speaking. Great to see you on the call. And Evelyn has her hand up.
Hey, Adrian, thank you for the mention. I love everything you always have to say. You know that I'm a #1 fan, and I would like to get a t-shirt signed, please, something. I don't know about draconian bill, but whatever you guys want to call Adrian, I think he's a very wise man. He's one of my #1 mentors, together with Ego, who helped me get out of my comfort zone, like you were just speaking, and go on and give it a try, to this side business that I have with my Amazon journey. Now, I've noticed that a lot of people are quiet and not saying much, and they're not in their journey. They're not sharing their products. And I'm here to tell you, just in case you have not gotten the message starting off with Adrian, that your journey doesn't have to be Amazon. You're here for a reason. Your journey is already written. Just gotta write it, you guys. Your heart will speak to you. You know what you gotta do. But, just because we paid so much money for this course doesn't mean that it has to be Amazon. What it means is you learned a whole new set of skills, and you got to take it to the next level in the path that is the right path for you. So Nancy, sorry to call you out, but I think that you were feeling guilty about this. That why weren't you on the same path as the rest of us that were there? And maybe many of us are in that situation. But you guys, look inside, really think about it. You don't need to force anything in your journey. Just take a deep breath, take a moment to yourself, and listen to your heart. Listen to your gut feeling. I am probably the opposite of Nancy and Suzanne and Bill. And that's quite all right with me. I actually love Amazon, love my journey. But the one thing that I love the most is being able to help others that really want to do this and see the light in their eyes when it finally clicks, when they finally can do things, But that doesn't mean that everybody will feel the same way as I do. So if you guys are one of those that do not feel that love and passion and excitement when you're talking about Amazon, then find out what it does, what it is that makes your heart beat faster with excitement, looking forward to that. Don't feel guilty. Don't think that this is the cool kids club that you have to belong to. This is the cool kids club, this one, John Lavenia Success Mastermind. But each one of us, we're called for a different reason. We have a different journey, and don't feel guilty about it. It's actually liberating, isn't it, Nancy? Isn't it, Suzanne? Isn't it, Bill? You can say it. Nobody's here to judge you. We're here to cheer you on. And I'm going to end with this. Don't forget to come on Friday to the hospitality suite so we can raise a glass, whether it's water, coffee, or wine, or your preferred beverage, to cheer on you, on your wins. Whether it is that you decided to start exercising, to walk, to go on a diet or leave the diet behind. And like Suzanne had her delicious post of soda and pizza on Facebook, or whatever it is, let's cheer you on. Okay, that was it. That's what comes for me, Adrian.
Fantastic, Evelyn. And yeah, let's see the light in everybody's eyes. I'd love to see that. I think there's more scope in this group for any project you want to run than you can imagine. I mean, John's got loads of opportunities. He's always mentioning. John is not an Amazon seller. He's doing lots of other things. Shannon's doing lots of other things. There's expertise there for just about anything you can dream up. And if we haven't got it in the group, John can certainly find it for you. So, go for it. Dream it. If you can dream it, you can do it. So let's see what we can do. I absolutely agree with you, Evelyn. Therese has her hand up. Lovely to hear from you, Therese.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Nice to be here. Nice to see everyone. I've had my hands in a lot of different projects the last 3 weeks or so, so I haven't been present. I really wanted to speak up today, say hello, and I've missed everyone. And I think the topic or the timing of this is really spot on, because I think a lot of people, are feeling exactly the same way. I think a lot of people are feeling burnt out and disconnected from themselves and their purpose, and yeah, and just overwhelmed, really. And I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but I certainly know that I've been feeling that way. And I feel like the Amazon process or project, for me, of course, isn't booming. And, you know, there's that looming question of like, now what do I do? Do I discount it? Do I get rid of it? Do I stop? I'm not, you know, I believe in the product. It is a part of the bigger picture. But, and I think, you know, when I went into this, I believed it was going to be the picture, right? Like it was going to solve all the issues. And that's not at all the case, but there's a ton of more work that needs to be done to integrate it into the bigger picture, right? And I like Nancy, of course, it's about healing. I mean, my heart and passion is about helping others and listening and helping others heal and find a sense of belief and love in themselves and in life. And so I'm really thrilled because perhaps Nancy and I will get to do some project together in the future. I would love that. And, you know, I think, I mean, I hit that overwhelm because I thought that the Amazon thing was going to be, was going to solve it. And, you know, the learning curve has been like this, and I'm not a super tech person. So again, it's a lot of intimidation and fear and frustration for me, and a lot of money and all of these things that, you know, yes, there's vibration, law of attraction, all of that being said, and positive mindset. And, you know, but I mean, let's just be real. I mean, that stuff does manifest, but manifestation takes time. So, I guess I just want to say, you know, wonderful topic, be authentic, of course, Adrian, it's a beautiful topic. And, you know, take a step back and get present with yourself. And if you need some time away from all of this, take some time away and readjust your head and your heart and let yourself heal. I'm your nutritionist, I'm your wellness individual. And it's not just about food. It's about, like you may remember in the first few topics of my sessions, integrative health is about, you know, your relationships, your creativity, it's about your career, it's about your finances, it's about your education, you know, it's about your joy, your home cooking, it's about so many things. And when those things are out of sync, it's hard for you to put out the vibration that you want to receive back. So don't shove it down, don't pretend this is all working, feel it, allow yourself time, honor it, and then come back with fresh eyes and a fresh approach. Because when you try to pretend or stuff it down, you're creating chaos in your body and dis-ease or disease. So it's a real thing. And I know that there's probably some others in the group that would agree with that, Nicola and Nancy both. So anyway, this is just, you know, I'm really glad to be back. I'm feeling recharged and ready to reset that gigantic learning curve in front of me and the huge financial, you know, the huge financial like steps that are going to happen. And I think flexibility, you know, dodging the rocks best you can. And, you know, we're almost a year into, I mean, well, not a full year, but we're in this. Okay. So we can't go back. We're too far in. So again, stop, evaluate, and continue to bring your heart forward. And I'm just really happy I get to bring my heart forward with all of you. So thanks, Adrian.
Wonderful, Therese. That was a great summary of everything, really. And, you know, the knowledge, it is almost a year for some of us. The knowledge we've gained, though, is really powering us now. We know a lot more than we did. I think we all feel a lot more comfortable in the new online world than we did. We can see, perhaps for the first time, that there are many, many opportunities. When we saw a YouTube advert and we just thought, well, we'll try this Amazon. We didn't know about everything else. We know a lot more than we did. We know a lot more people who know about what we didn't know. So we can tap in now to immense expertise and go for it. We're all, as you said, suited to different things. We feel differently about different things. That's normal. In a group of people, we are going to get the full cross-section of society and feelings, and everyone's got something to offer. And you and Nancy, I think with your expertise and your understanding and empathy and wonderful way you both have with people, you can do great things. And I think it's going to be a huge success. I just can't wait to see what you put together. I really can't, both of you. Yeah, so this is very exciting. Thanks very much, Therese. Ivie has a hand up.
Hi, Adrian. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Just listening to you speak, I think the part where you got my full attention was where you said, you don't have to look very far. The hints or the message is there in your past. If you just give yourself permission to rewind, you will see what made your heart sing way back when. And that was the clue to what your future, to what your life, to what your purpose was meant to be. So that was the first, the thing you said, that just, I literally shook myself and sat up straight, as you said that, it hit home. So that was one thing I was going to say. The second thing I was going to say is, as Suzanne, Nancy, Therese, as three of you spoke, I couldn't help but wonder, here we are on the JLSM platform. The world is in a state of flux, right? It's a global pandemic. Where I am, full lockdown still. And I'm thinking, what if, and this is a real what if, Nancy, Therese, and Nicola, three of you got together and set up an online portal, website, whether it's even a YouTube channel, right? Where you have 20 minutes of a yoga session, 20 minutes meditation, 20 minutes integrative nutrition / Pilates with you, Therese, right? So three of you have that. And then you can have Koila come in as a guest speaker because of her job and what she does with Qigong, right? So you then create a platform for healing, wellness, holistic. I mean, you're capturing everything. I don't know that anything like that exists on YouTube, on Facebook, on any of those channels. And then I know Janet M also does something. She can be another guest speaker where you could have her featured, 1 week or once a month, and she can come and do, what it is she does, right? And in between, you can have Wayne, Adrian, Bill, and there's one other name I'm forgetting, have the narration, like say the words that follow or introduce the different, because their voices are just so smooth, soothing, right? So the guys feed into the process, and you have this whole package where people, they can come on for 20 minutes, they can stay on for 40 minutes, they can stay on for the whole hour on the YouTube channel, whatever it is, but they're going to walk away from having experienced three of you ladies as the core group with your narrators alongside. They're going to go back into their spaces, re-energized, refreshed, raring to go. I mean, can you just imagine the impact that three of you, you guys can change the world, right? So as I heard you all sharing, I just thought to myself, we've got a powerhouse of three women here. You're a triangle, you're a trio, you are, oh my goodness. That was all I just kept imagining, that we've got this holistic wellness, health, and I mean, it could be online. It doesn't have to be a physical space, right? And I thought, once you give people a taster as to what it is you have on offer, you can then have, once this global, whatever, disappears and goes back to where it came from, you can then maybe have mini, brick and mortar centers where people can actually come in. And Therese, you can sell your Mazel range, right? Janet can come in and do the bowl thing, just to create the vibration, the space, I'm just thinking, like my mind was going in 1,000,001 directions as three of you were speaking. And I was just saying, am I the only one getting this? This is like amazing, right? I mean, you guys can have a following of 1 million people where, Therese, you put your Mazel thing and say, oh, if you want it, that's it. Before you even finish the post, it's sold out, right? So forget Amazon, right? I mean, I'm grateful that Amazon brought us all together. And I mean, for that, I will not change a single thing, right? But here we are, people. If the Amazon thing ain't working, if it's not floating your boat, if it's not making your heart sing, you know what? There's so many other opportunities. There's so many other channels. Whatever it is that resonates with you, let's jump. Let's fly. Let's make it happen already. What's the worst that can happen? You put this YouTube channel together and it doesn't work. Then we move on to the next thing. But 3 of you together, oh my goodness. I can see it. With your face. I mean, and Nancy, your poses, I mean, your profile photos. I mean, you can have that as part of the logo or as part right now my head is bursting with ideas for you 3 women. I'm like, oh my goodness, right? I'm just like, am I the only one seeing this, right? So that was the second thing I was going to say before I carry on and just lose myself completely, because I'm just so excited. I can't even sit still right now. And then the third thing I was going to say, for some of you out there on the platform, Amazon may still be the vehicle that will get you to your whys being, achieved. You've probably just hit a brick wall where you need to get your second wind, right? Because guess what? Anything that's worth doing is not going to be easy. You're going to get those trials. You're going to get those roadblocks. I mean, things are going to conspire to test just how hot your burning desire is, right? So what I would implore is for some of you who know it could still very well be the journey of choice, a little bit more patience. Reassess it at the end of Q1 2021 and then make a decision. But don't abandon ship too soon when you have all of this invested so far. You might just be 3 feet from gold. Don't quit now, because quitters don't win, winners don't quit, right? So that's what was coming up for me as Adrian was talking. But my goodness, I mean, my head, I'm ready to go offline with 3 of you. I mean, I'd be your motivation. I'd be your cheerleader. I can give you a pep talk every morning just to G you guys up. I mean, I'm just so excited right now. It is unreal, right? You've got what it takes. You know what it takes. And the possibilities are endless is all I can say. So thank you for sharing, because I think it was really brave and courageous to share, but you've just unraveled a whole thing in my head now. And I can't wait for this to happen. I can't wait for this to be birthed and for it to be real. So thank you, Adrian. I've called you the seer before, and you've done it again today in this session. You're causing people to see themselves as they can be, not as they are today, present time. So thank you so much, Adrian, for being true to your, to who you are every time you show up. Thank you.
Wow, Ivie, that was some powerful delivery. And I absolutely agree with everything you've said. And everyone, you heard it here first. New global wellbeing platform with our 3 resident experts would be something to behold. And I'm sure a lot of us could contribute, as Ivie said, to helping that happen, which I would gladly do myself. So count me in, Ivie, count me in. You thought I was joking when I said at the start of the talk, bring out the fire engines and the fire extinguishers, but I wasn't, because I knew there were lots of fires breaking out, and I can feel them right now, and they're getting pretty big. So this is just great news. This is the kind of energy you get from a mastermind group, and it's why they work. And it's what we're told all the time about having a mastermind group. And boy, does it work. It really does. So Ivie, I can't even summarize all of that, because that was so passionate and in depth, but I'm sure that the 3 of you in particular will take that away and hopefully have an offline discussion. Let's get some kind of planning group going to see if we can make it happen. And then you've got Shannon, you've got John in terms of marketing and how to sell it and package it. So you really got everything you need. And I absolutely agree with Ivie. And I think it would be, even if there are others, it would be far better, because you're authentic and you're all 3 of you genuine. So whatever you do, they will feel the difference. The customers will feel the difference. That I'm confident in. So wow, that was something. And what an amazing summary, Ivie, and amazing inspiration for everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our resident powerhouse, Ivie, who will hopefully go off and have a nap after this, having probably not slept for 3 days and probably not eaten for a week, but we'll see. Anyway, Adrian J., who's an atomic bomb of e-commerce and who's a real devotee of Amazon, is going to speak, which I'm delighted to say. We haven't heard him enough recently. Yeah. How are you doing,
everybody? Adrian? I'm okay, thank you. Just a quick topic on what you're saying. Yeah, you are absolutely right. We've all been doing this now for going on 8 months. And yes, you will have up downs and you will have down times. You will have bad times, you will have good times. But as Ivie say, don't give up. As you say, you might only be 3 foot from gold. I've been doing this for so long now, I get the days where, is it worth it? Is it worth it? But then I look at my wall and I think, well, that's what I want to do. That's my house. That's my car. I have to do something, because if I don't, that's not going to be reality. But I say, do not give up. All right. Yeah. As I was saying, was it Evelyn? You were saying, one of you, I can't remember which one you're saying, but you're saying somebody was losing faith in it and they've just got it back. Don't give up. It is well worth at the end of it. It's like, I've got 3 products on Amazon now, and I've got an eBay shop going as well. And I've ran out of stock, and I won't get another stock now till the middle of February. So I'm to myself, God, I'm not going to sell anything. What am I going to do? But then I look at me dream, and I look at the wall, and I think, well, eventually they'll come back in stock, and they will be get back onto there. But I said, do not give up on your dream, because if you do, you may not get this opportunity again. And I'm just saying, don't give up. As my saying goes, at the end of the road, there is a goal. And at the end of that road is your dream. And just stick by it, and you will get there. And that's just want to just say. I say, I don't get on this much now, because I've got work and I've got me 2 business. But I try to talk when I come on here. But honestly, don't give up. Adrian, you're absolutely right. You do have bad days. You do have good days. You do have poor days, you have fantastic days, but at a whole, your dream is there for you to grab with both hands. And as my mum used to say, God bless her soul, you have one chance in life. This is your chance. Don't give up.
Fantastic, Adrian. I absolutely agree. And you're just a ball of energy and a shot in the arm every time you talk to us. And it's great to hear you. And, just admire everything you've done. You've thrown yourself at it with passion, and nothing stopped you. And that really shows, because it is a burning desire, and that's why it works. So I agree. Don't give up. And Ivie said the same thing. If you think it might be your burning desire, don't give up. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying, stand back, check out your burning desire, and make sure it really is what you think it is, because you can always slightly realign or totally realign or adjust. And it's not too late, never too late to do that. Never too late to reassess, take a step back to take 10 steps forward, and then 100 more. So, always good to reassess where you are. And thank you so much, everybody. It was a great session. I really, really enjoyed this. We're at the top of the hour. I'll just pile in a bit of housekeeping again, but I can't thank you enough. I thought we were going to see some fires today, and boy, did we get a much bigger fire than I thought. I didn't have enough fire engines on site. So there's fire breaking out everywhere in the JLSM. Anyone that's watching on YouTube, this is what a mastermind group does for you. So please join us if you can. Housekeeping wise, group members later can log on for the 5 p.m. Eastern Time Corporate Curios with Ivie, who, as you've just seen, is an incredibly powerful speaker, and that's how she delivers her sessions. That's 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern US. And then the last session of the day is 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 a.m. in the UK, unfortunately, with Wayne Bradford and his metaphors for success. So join us if you can. It would be lovely to see you there. Thank you again so much for joining and taking the trouble to share and to listen. I really enjoyed that. I hope and I think it's given us lots to think about. Thank you all. And we're going to end the session there. See you very soon, hopefully later on. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, Adrian.
Goodbye. Thank you. Bye.